Yo. Hey. It's taking me over.
Man, me too.
Oh, I can see that you're live.
Yeah, we're live.
All right, cool. So Frank, I'll send you a link.
No, you don't need to send it. I can see
You got it already.
Facebook now. Yes, I'll
Mashallah.
grab it here from Facebook.
Okay, you grab it there and share it, right?
I already
There's
have
something
it.
I
I'm
need
sharing
to
now.
change.
All right, good.
While we're warming up, you know the drill. Isaac will share on the walls. I also got to change one file over here.
Yeah. It's really interesting to have Frank on the show today.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
being the first guest from South Africa, or the first friend in the house, or the first visitor in the house. Fireside chat show. You know, it feels good. You are in Johannesburg, right?
Yes, I'm in Johannesburg.
Good. So how is it there now?
It's been a bit cold and gloomy for some days now. So, but it's beginning to warm up slightly and warm up slowly. So,
Good.
we looking forward to a better weekend this time. Last weekend was a bit dark and gloomy and stuff. So.
Okay. How cold is it there?
It's been quite cold for some days now, but today looking at somewhere 15 to 17, 18 Celsius, so
Wow.
wasn't too bad.
Yeah. That's very cool to somebody like me in Northern Africa. That's really very cool.
Me, I
And
forgot
Brian
what
said-
the Celsius is.
Yeah, Brian, you said it's cold in Maryland too.
Yeah, let me check. I'm gonna check the temperature now. Since I came to America, I got lost in terms of units because we use Fahrenheit
know.
here, and
I know it's a bit
so
crazy.
I've not yet mastered Fahrenheit. Then I've forgotten how they call it Celsius.
Centigrades?
So I'm in the middle, just lost in terms of like measuring stuff. So it says 5 degrees, 5 degrees Celsius.
Okay, in
5 degrees.
yeah.
Oh my God, that is
Yes.
so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
know,
it's actually warm today. It used to be like negatives.
Minus.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This friend of ours, remember him, Ahmed from Germany. Yesterday he posted that the town he lives in is minus 19 degrees centigrade.
Joking.
Yeah, it gets cold here, man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and to say that he grew up in northern Nigeria, Kano, which normally has 35, 39, 45 degrees.
45. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what does this song mean? I see
So I'm sure
the
he's having fun there. Ahmed, shout out to you, man. I know you're having fun there.
shout out to everyone who is live, and please feel free to drop your name and possible location, and so we could do shout outs while we join. Today we have Dr. Frank from South Africa. The song, mind you, however you're feeling due to the song, just know that if you have to catch anybody, he's the culprit. He's the one making you feel that way. So, in other words, he's the maker of that song that is playing in the background. I really feel good about it. It's really rich in terms of like instruments. I hear the drums. I hear everything. It's like someone is even hitting a bench somewhere.
It's really a traditional, sounds very African, traditional African songs.
That's
It
the
makes me
idea.
feel as if every instrument that was used to produce that, is traditional African. That's the feeling that it gives me. So Frank, that's nice. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You know, I hear that the drum was made from the heartbeat.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you listen like tum 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 tum, like the original drums, Like Africa, especially in
Nice.
Africa, it's made from how the heart beats. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, now that you're talking about the heartbeat, I like to introduce to our fans Dr. Frank. Dr. Frank is a singer. Dr. Frank, we'll do you this favor if you start introducing. Just tell us, man. First of all, you're a singer and what and what?
I'm a singer, artist, producer, songwriter, filmmaker, cinematographer, editor, director in the filmmaking side. I'm a writer and author. I also studied theology, so I also work in the ministry, lecturer, businessman, entrepreneur. Jesus, yeah.
In fact, you're a modern man. I get it.
I was about to say, Brian has a name for people like you because you guys modern man, modern people. Yeah. And when he says that, I'm actually fascinated because, as in today's world, man, the more you challenge your brain, the more you give tasks to your brain, the more, the brain handles it and tries to deliver.
Yes.
But then I wonder, what inspires, what brings about such inspiration? What brings, for somebody to want to develop into multifaceted, into, want to do this, want to do this, want to do that? Where does that energy comes from, and for what purpose?
I think first of all, we have to go back to predestination. All right. Being a church boy, the scripture says that he scattereth his gifts abroad. You understand? And his mercy endures forever. So we are given so much. And I don't mean a certain set of people. I mean all of us are given so much. The difference is that some of us did not have the opportunity to recognize what we're given from a young age and start developing from there. Some of us were not born into the family that thought it important to develop those talents. Some of us were too lazy to also develop the talent. And some of us were busy being distracted by other things instead of developing the talent. So I just, I was opportune to pick up the gift from a young age, and I started to develop from one thing to the other. I started playing drums at the age of around 7, 8. That's when I started playing the drums. And then from there, singing in the choir, playing the keys, just, I have a curious mind. So I'm constantly trying to learn something because I get bored really fast. So the more I learn, the more exciting my life becomes. The more I learn, the more happier I become, because then I'm engaged. I am not. I'm not bored because, I get bored really easily.
I'm wondering. Well, before that, I remember we're here with Barrister Makori of a Chocolate City. So he was talking about social capital. And then he also mentioned the story of Moses, that when God called Moses, the first thing he told him is like when Moses was kind of wondering what to tell Pharaoh, so he said, "What is in your hand?" So, and then Moses had the staff, and he said, "Throw it down," and that was what he used to do the signs, to show the signs of God. So he was trying to tell us that we as humans, whenever we stand before God, for us to really develop our talents, it's in our hands. So it's the same thing that God asked Moses, that what is in your hand? You see, so you explaining this actually reminds me of all of that. It's like you have this staff that you have to use and show us the sign that God is alive and God is working.
Yes,
and
because
you turned it into a song and every other thing you do.
Everyone has been given something. Everyone has got something. Everyone is given something to perform with. Some are given more than one, others are given one. So, but like the story of the talent tells, the one that was given one went and hid it because he thought it was not big enough. And the master was not happy with him at all. So, which tells us that whatever we are given is for development. I put up a post a few days ago on my timeline and I said, grace is for performance. Grace is for performance. Grace is not something we just say, oh, I'm a graced person. I am graced. I have grace. You must show your grace through your performance. You know, the amount of grace you've been given must correlate. It must make sense in terms of how much you are able to perform, you know. So, and that's the core message that I constantly deliver to everyone that cares to listen. And that message is that Africa has been given so much. We are truly, truly endowed, like we are loaded, you know, and we are not performing at the level of what we are carrying. We are under delivering, you know. So, and I feel like my generation, our generation, is the generation that will justify the grace we carry. I feel like we are that generation that will justify the amount of the wealth of what God has given us. We are going to justify it through our art, through technology, through the things we're going to create. We are creators. We have those grace. We have it. We are loaded with it. So yeah.
Interesting. You know, Brian. He speaks very much in line the way Audu Mekori. Shout out to Audu Mekori, barrister Audu Mekori, the group CEO of Chocolate City. Wow. He was speaking like you know, wow. That Africa is so blessed. In fact, he went forward and advances to say that everything big in the world today, they use blackness or they use Africa, you know, to sell it. Right? Yeah, and we spoke so elaborately that day, but I still get to wonder, what exactly do you guys mean that Africa is great? You know, when our people, all the indices have shown that we are ranking bottom on the poverty index. You know, our people, the wars are tearing us so much apart. You know, I give example here. Terrorism is tearing Cameroon and Nigeria. The Niger Republic. Xenophobia is causing issues between Nigeria and South Africa. You guys now, South Africa don't want to see us, or is it that you guys are hating us, or is it misunderstanding? You know, I just don't get. So where is that greatness in Africa that we really don't see, and you people keep on preaching about
it? Where do I start?
Everywhere.
You know,
just a minute. I like you to situate it in your own experiences in music, right? In arts, in the creative industry.
Yeah. I want to say this. Let's start with music. All right. Every music that we are hearing today originated from Africa. Every sound, from jazz to pop to hip hop to everything.
To hard rock, to rock
any
and roll.
sound that you can hear.
Oh, yeah, I heard
any sound. It's got its roots in Africa because we are a country of beats. We're a continent. We are spiritual beings. We are multidimensional creatures. We are still in our most organic state. That's why they think Africa is not, they think Africa is barbaric, you know? There is a huge part of Africa that is still in its original form and tampered and unadulterated. So if you are looking for anything original, you know where to go. Zero latitude and zero longitude is in Africa. It's not anywhere else in the world. It's in Africa. Other people can argue whatever they like. This is where everything started. So it's actually a no-brainer to know that if things started here, everything has got its source from here. When I make music, I can interpret any sound that I like. I can fuse anything, you know, but the things that I'm fusing, they've got their root in the beat, which I call the heartbeat. You understand? It's got its root in the beat. Mm-hmm. Because if you can understand the beat, you can understand any music. All right. So the reason why I can tell you that music originated from Africa, every music, is that as I am now, I can produce hard rock, I can produce metal. Actually, I have produced hard rock, I've produced metal, I've produced hip hop, pop, bossa nova, whatever you name it, call it, I can create it. But if I pick somebody from Europe and play certain sounds for him, they won't be able to hi-fi it because their brain does not have the capacity to break it down, because it's not like they're not connected to the source. We are connected to the source. I am connected to the source, the root, the motherland, the soil. I'm connected. I'm a child of the soil. I understand the rhythm. I understand the sound of the spirits. I understand the sound of the ancients. There is something about the ancients that is in me. You understand? So the music that we make, they are spiritual, they are mystical, they are dark, they are from the depths. So like I can go on and on and on. This stuff is messed up.
You can go, man. I'm learning, man. I'm learning. You know?
This thing is messed up. I promise you, like when you listen to the sound, right? You may not know what you're feeling because the stuff you're feeling, there are too many communication of the spirits happening in the sound. Yeah. It's not just a sound, you know? Yeah. So that's why they take our sound to Europe and then synthesize it. You understand? Yeah. They synthesize it. You know, they because of their technological advancement, they can take a marimba and produce extra 50 different sounds from marimba. You understand? Yeah. But what happens is that the more you process the sound, the further you move from the root of that sound, from the spirit of that sound. Okay, let me tell you something. In my village where I come from, we've got a particular...
Please tell us the name of the village. Tell us the name of the village.
I'm from Abia State in Nigeria, Umuezechi, to be precise, in Bende local government. So now in Umuezechi, there is a particular drum called Ikoro. Now, not everybody can play Ikoro. You must be qualified to play Ikoro. You understand? Now, when you play Ikoro, it doesn't matter if you're a white person or a black person or if you are a church person or whatever you are. It doesn't matter. When the sound plays, something wakes up in you because that is the sound of the spirits. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
In Africa, we use sounds to wake up spirits. We use sounds to communicate with the spirits. So that's why I say that the origin of every music, every sound in the world is Africa. And if anybody has another opinion, they have the right to be wrong.
I like how you put it, that is right. It's actually a privilege.
They have the right to be wrong. I mean,
it's actually a privilege for them to be wrong. So they have that license to be
I
wrong
mean, Brian,
in that
Brian,
case.
tell us. You also told me something about some music in Cameroon that is connected to the
Oh
spirit,
yeah.
or when people are singing, they transcend to the other world.
I mean, when Frank puts it that way, I don't just understand it, but the understanding comes in form of an awakening too. Because I mean, even from the sound of the passion that you transmit in your voice, it's also encapsulated in the sound. The way your voice sounds, there's like some intensity to it that
Yes.
it's energy. You know, it's energy is not destroyed, it's only transferred from one form to another. When we just started, you were quiet, so the energy was like at a different frequency. Then one way for you to package it, put it in an envelope and send it to us and express it, and all of those other services you can add for us to get the message as accurately as you want us to get it, is by you controlling your voice. So what he's saying, he's actually doing it right now as we're talking. So you see what I mean? So I was actually understanding and observing that energy, and it's invoking in me, like mathematics is another language that you can use to describe the world. So one thing I understood from your explanation is the idea of discreteness and continuity. So when we are dealing with things like 1, 2, 3, we're skipping a step, which is width or is weight is 1, 1, 2, 3. But if I start doing 1.1, 1.0, 1.0, so you see there's a kind of continuity. I don't skip like one big step. I'm very close to the interval. So I do 1.1, 1.2 up till I go to 2. So that's how I feel with African music. There's a kind of continuity that you don't have time to rest. So if you're listening to rock, you hear like tum cha tum cha. There's no that underlying sound. There's less continuity. But if you're listening to like what he was playing, like there's a
It just
continuation.
transports you.
Yes,
Like,
there's a continuity. Yeah, so you don't even have time to rest, but just absorb it. It's like sliding through some kind of a stream to that experience
yes.
that you're actually going, as opposed to going step by step. You see what I mean? So the continuity is like
I
very
like the way you're
smooth.
putting it.
Yeah. So that's the actually you put it. So that's what I was understanding.
You
You
know,
see
I
what I
love
mean?
that.
Yeah, right.
but that feeling with the music, right? Is it exclusively reserved for Africans? You know, maybe is it because you guys are African sons of the soil that you connect to the gods when you listen to the spirit? Is it if a white man in Ireland listens to it, does it also get that kind of feeling?
Yes. So what happens is that they will get the feeling, but they may not be able to interpret or understand what they are feeling. They will just tell you, there's something about this sound. That's all they say.
Yeah, right.
But we know what is that something. We know what the something
And you
is.
can mix it, and you know, like
We know what the
you
something
can
is.
express it.
You know, I grew up in Onisha for most of my childhood life. So in Onisha and in Anambra State, they've got different types of music, right? So they've got the ogene music. The gong is driven by the gong, all right? Now we have the ewa music, the ewa. Ewa is more of a drum, like toms type sounds, but with different frequencies and different tones that they produce. And other types of music that we have in Onisha, in Anambra State, and for the most part of Igbo land as well. Now, Ogene music is more Enugu State, side. Now, if Ogene music plays, it doesn't matter how gentle you are. Something violent will jump into you.
Mashallah. Yeah, I see. It takes over you. You get possessed. Yeah.
It takes over you, and there are also different types of ogene. That is the mild ogene, and then there is the ogene ntike, the wild one, the one that when they play it, the youth starts breaking things.
Wow.
Understand?
Yeah, right.
And there is the ones that when they play it, it brings merry and softness and that flow, love and stuff. And then you come to Abia State, there are other sounds, the sound of war. When you hear it, people are willing to die. for the community. They are willing to give their life. And is sound driven, you know. Now, what I'm trying to say is that the origin is Africa. What we are missing is harnessing that spirit. I don't think we are harnessing it to the fullest. They still categorize the origin of music, which is African music, as world music. It's like a category, you know. It's like, it's not mainstream. It's like, you know. So, which is absolute rubbish, you know. And it's time that our generation rewrites that, because we don't need to wait for the Grammys to tell us where our music belongs. No, that is nonsense. You know, no, it's not going to happen, because we have the source. The origin of it is here. This is as mainstream as it gets. This is as mainstream as it gets. You know?
Yeah.
So and for us to get there, first of all, we need to start dealing with African music as mainstream music in Africa, first of all. Because you can't have radio stations call themselves urban radio stations and then they play Western, you know, European, American music and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Even though with the advent of the growth and expansion of the music industry in Nigeria, we are beginning to change that. So that is good. Kudos to Nigeria for really, really pushing to dominate the airwave of Africa. At least let's start with that.
Before people fire us. Sorry, I was saying, before people start war and come and fire us, let's add Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, all of those other countries. Before they start saying, hey, what are you saying? What do you mean? Anyway, I just wanted to add that.
Please, a disclaimer, everything I'm saying here is my opinion, and I have the right to be wrong.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. All right. He has the right to be wrong. Yeah, maintain that privilege and that right. Thank you.
Yes, but you obviously, you know, it's not only Nigeria. The reason I'm talking about Nigeria is that before Nigeria, South Africa was pushing hard, all right? And then Congo really did a lot of work in pushing African sound. And then you look at Ghana music and other African countries, right? The reason I'm talking about Nigeria is that there are a few artists in Nigeria that were able to translate the Nigerian sound and sell it to the world. That's why I'm focusing on Nigeria. Nigeria has contributed a lot in making African music mainstream, at least the entry level for African music to becoming mainstream. You know, shout out to, like, you know, people like
the network
now, because they've done great work. You understand?
Sorry, Frank. Sorry, Frank. Can you repeat? Sorry, the shout out. You kind of got frozen there, so we didn't hear the names.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was saying, I was giving shout outs to groups like Style Plus, you know, Two Face himself, Tubaba himself. You know, I think that African Queen was the intro to telling the world that, guys, we have what it takes. We are what it takes. We don't have it. We are what it takes. You know, and then the next generation that took it to a whole other level. You know, where Nigerian artists can sell out stadiums of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, sold out shows all over the world. Davido, Whiskey, Frank Edward, topping the charts for days on iTunes, like weeks,
Burna Boy. Yeah.
beating, like, Sinachi, them, and so many of these guys, both in gospel and in the secular sound. So I give shout outs to them because they have prepared the way that, we need to take to a whole other level.
Mashallah. Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Is this amazing, man?
Yeah, you give me a minute, Brian.
Yeah.
NEPA has struck in my house. There is no light.
Yeah.
So I need to go and organize.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. For the jet. So you give me a minute. I will join you guys, Frank. So just continue the conversation. I will listen as I go on my phone.
Yeah. Frank, that reminds me again of that story with Moses. So it's like Africa being these magicians that you have described, and with our power to be able to use sound. So we want to go and tell the world that, guys, this is what we have, or want to go show them, and God is like, okay, what's in your hand? So Two-Face and the rest, they did the first magic, and then you see they did the first magic, and then up to the point where we'll have to split the Red Sea. So you see what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, it's really amazing to harness that power. Mm-hmm.
I think that's what that first wave, I consider them the first wave,
Yeah.
And then from Two-Face, you now start having, the other guys, so let's just call some of the names. It's Two-Face, is Don Jazzy, D'banj, the whole More Hits record before the Mavin, guys, P-Squared, them, Nigga Raw, even Flavor as well. Flavor is taking his culture and is selling it to the world. Fino. These guys, they've mastered the act of taking the sound and packaging it in a way that even if you don't hear the language, the spirit must catch you.
Yeah.
Those songs are loaded. These sounds are loaded with mystical powers. You may not hear what they are saying, but it's going to move you.
Yeah.
And that is what the power. That's where the power is. That's where the secret is.
I also have something to ask on that note, because then I'm now thinking, like, there are people that came before us that what they did is magic. In my country, we have people like Petit Pays, Henry Dikonge, like those that did Makosa. I don't know if you have come. So I don't know if it's that those things are there, then our generation connects. It's almost like a kid, right? Like a kid is born, maybe they can see a little, and then they get to see. So the point at which they see, can we say that they brought light, or shall we say that light was there and then they saw the light and continued to use it? Because there are also people from Cameroon, like Richard Bona, he has like a Grammy.
Yes.
And then if you go to Mali, you have people like Tumani. Those are people that I was telling you of the Kora. Those are people that Tumani is from the Griot family. He has 700 years of history on his back. So he's from a music dynasty. Yeah. He's from a music dynasty that they hand over from the time of Mansa Musa. When people discuss for peace treaty, they compose a song and give it as a gift. And that's a hit. That will always be a hit. So I can share my screen and show you some of those. So when you say those, I kind of wonder if it's that our generation where these babies that we get to see join the world stage and see what's going on, or if those guys had already done that. Because if you look at Mali, their connection, especially French Africa, the people like Toumani have received honorary degrees from the universities in the UK. They play people like the Queen and things like that. So I'm wondering if they had taken it before that. Yeah.
The way that I see it, that generation were exploited heavily. They were exploited. Is that case of steal from a million people?
Yeah.
And take 0.5% or 0.1% and give it to one person and use that person to make a noise as if we are accepted.
Okay.
But the truth is that we were not.
Okay, I see.
What we have done, or what we are doing right now, is that we are taking from the work they've done, the sacrifices that they've made. Those guys made rich music, like organic music, spiritual music, music that transports you to the other side.
Yeah.
Anytime, till today, you play those sounds till today, you still feel the same thing, because it's like bottling a spirit and transferring it from generation to generation. It's a very mystical thing that they've done with their sounds. Now, but they were never recognized and celebrated the way they should. They were exploited badly. All right? Their works were used to make money, to manipulate, to make people behave.
Yeah, I see.
To make the masses behave. Use them as something to tell everybody you are accepted. But the truth is that you are not.
Yeah, right. I see.
Now, what we're doing now is that we are taking that sound and we are not impressing a few big shots with it. No, we are taking it straight to the world, to the masses, the people, where the power is. That's what we're doing. And that's why what we're doing now is more powerful. And over time, we're going to be able to recover some of the things that were stolen from us through our art.
Wow. Man, when if you keep talking like this, I'm suspecting that I will leave this episode with gray hair. I just feel like I'm getting wiser. I just feel like I'm getting wiser and wiser as you talk. And it's just to digress a little bit, nowadays a lot of waves are being broken in the financial world, especially with things like Bitcoin and stuff like that. So there's this business guy who created an analogy. He tried to paint a picture of what is happening. He says that if you look at Bitcoin, the amount of energy that they use to process the transactions is also represented in the value. So which means as they are producing it, all that electricity that people claim they're burning, they're packaging it and putting in this system and sending it to the future. So as the value is adding, even hundreds of years when future generations will come, this value will be so massive because it's that energy that we gathered from the previous generations and packaged it and shot it to the future. But what is more interesting is, since it's that energy, laws of physics will start applying, like gravity. Look at the sun. The sun is very massive and it has a lot of energy. That's why the planets are even revolving around it. So in terms of our music now, as you're saying, these guys before, they bundled this energy and packaged it, and it's massive enough that although they thought they were exploiting us, they were setting a stage where this whole sun, in terms of musical energy, is going to explode in there. That everything will start revolving and rotating around it, as it's always been. They will just be seeing it, just like how the planets, Mars, and the rest, they're like going around the sun. Yeah. So that's what I really capture about that whole thing. And it's an opportunity.
I agree with what you're saying completely. And just to bring it to some practical presentation.
Yeah.
Every artist that is doing well in Africa right now, when you check them, either the artist or the producer of those artists, they understand the ancient sound in African music. They understand it, whether they are from Cameroon or Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa. All we do as a producer, let me speak about myself right now.
Yeah, please go on.
What I do when I make sound, okay, my album is going to be coming out in 3 days, right?
Really?
On Saturday, the whole album, 15 tracks, is going to be coming out. Yeah. Now, when you listen to the album, I call it a producer's album, right? A producer's album.
Yeah.
Because it's got all kinds of things, all kinds of sound. What I did for some of the songs was just go back to the ancient sounds and just repackage them to something that is acceptable in the now.
Yeah,
but the truth is that the real source is in that ancient sound.
Mashallah. Yeah, I see.
Because that's where the power is. You know?
Yeah.
Any producer that wants to move people must understand ancient sound. All these big producers in America and in Europe, they understand the secret. I'm telling you. If you go to their playlist and hear what they are listening to, they are listening to ancient sound. They're not listening to stuff that doesn't have roots, you know, because the power is in the roots.
Yeah, right. I see. Mashallah.
So
yeah.
So when you understand the mystical aspect of sound creation or music creation, you know that it's more spiritual than technical. Now, I'm not saying that technical is not important, it's very important, but technical without the roots,
yeah, right,
it's just sound.
Yeah, right, true.
You know,
the essence.
Yeah, it will not last.
Away.
It will not last for generations. It will not stand the test of time. That's why some songs that were done last year, you don't want to hear them today. But there are songs that were done 50 years ago. You still want to jam to them today. It's because of the spirit encapsulated in those sounds, not the noise of, you know, excitement of, you know, no. Yeah. It has to be deep.
You know, when I hear you talk about, you know, the ancestors, the ancestry, you know, the spiritual connection between that these sounds connect us to the ancestors and the ancestry. You know, I begin to think, what happens to guys today who do gospel music, guys like you? You know.
Oh, no. You are getting it wrong. Oh.
Yeah, let me finish my question. Yes, I have a permission to be wrong. Yes. Good. Now, I mean, we know that traditional Africa, I mean, from our standpoint from today, you know, or from the normal standpoint, from the average standpoint, is that where our worships have been designed or have been identified to be barbaric, right? And yet we have people who do gospel. You people go and take those ancient materials that connect you to your gods of Oduduwa and all of that. So how safe are we that when I believe that I'm listening to a Christian song, I'm actually worshiping an Ogun? Okay. I'm actually gyrating to a god of Ogun. I mean, is that not what we're saying here? That when you listen to this, they connect you to those ancient times.
So if you worship the gods of Amadiola, or you think that you're a Christian, but the Juju man.
Okay, I give you an example now.
I love this question.
If you go to Maiduguri, right, the people from Maiduguri, they have some kind of dance called Bori. When they start playing those songs, right, you will see the people, they will almost like lift up from the ground, almost suspend,
and levitate.
Just drop. At that time, it is believed that they've transcended their connecting to the God.
Mashallah.
So please explain to us. I'm a very good Christian. I like to worship Jesus Christ, not the God of Ogun. So I'd like to understand, if I'm listening to a material, I hope I'm not worshiping Ogun.
Okay, so please, we are going to spend some time on this because there are layers to it,
please,
so that everybody can understand what I'm trying to explain. All right. So first of all, I'm a church boy, born in church, studied theology, a pastor, a preacher. Yeah, tick, tick, tick. All right. But let's go deep. All right.
Yeah.
You see, the spiritual realm is one. There are no 3 spiritual realms, no 2 spiritual realms. There are no 5 spiritual realms. No. When you are in the spiritual realm, you are in the spiritual realm. All right. Now, the difference is which door are you using to get into the spiritual realm? The psychic people, they use their tarot cards and their things to enter the spiritual realm. And then the native doctors, they use their cowries and their things to access. As Christians, we use prayers, we use music, fasting, and we get into the spiritual realm. And then you also have people that use meditation, the Buddhists, and the other religion. But I want to draw you to an event that happened in the scripture when Saul went to see the witch of Endor.
Mm-hmm.
To make inquiries because God was not talking to him. So he wanted the witch of Endor to bring up Samuel, the prophet, so that the Samuel can tell him what is in the mind of God. Mm-hmm. All right. So, and the scripture says that the witch was able to summon the spirit of Samuel. The scripture actually said that the witch, now catch this, because you see, this is where we start getting confused about this stuff. The witch that is supposed to be from the devil was able to summon the spirit of Samuel, the prophet of God, to communicate with Samuel. What am I trying to say there? I'm trying to tell you that the witch, according to the scripture, actually performed the request. So it wasn't a lie or it wasn't a truth.
Yeah, right.
Are you catching where I'm going with it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But then her access is not the access that Samuel used to use to connect to God. Because Samuel was a prophet, he can predict tomorrow. He can tell you what's happening. He can go into the spirit realm and perform certain things. The same way the witch could also.
Yeah, right.
The difference is the door. Now, Jesus now started speaking and said that those that enter through the window are thieves. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus did not say that they did not enter.
Yeah.
Are you catching where I'm going?
Yeah, right.
They entered, it's just that they entered through the wrong way. What I'm trying to say is that when I talk about the ancient spirit, I'm not talking about the devil. I'm talking about the spirit of God, because it has always been the same.
Yeah, right.
It's always been the same. Our fathers, they only know that there is God and they worshipped God. White people came and told us that what they worshipped was the devil. All right. Now, some people worship the devil by killing people and committing all kinds of atrocities in the name of worship. But not all of them did that. It's not all African culture that is African tradition that is barbaric. It's not all of them that is demonic. It's not all of them that is evil. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are dimensions in the spiritual things. Jesus was not a normal person. They even called him, they said he's functioning with the power of Beelzebub, the prince of demons.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, when you read the ancient texts, Jesus was referred as a mystical being, not a spiritual being. He was referred to as a mystical being because of what he was able to do and the way he did it. When he spit on the soil and used it to heal somebody, when he performed all kinds of, they said he's possessed by Beelzebub. So the prince of demons. So, but Jesus was trying to tell them that, no, this is not Beelzebub, because a kingdom that is divided against itself shall fall. It will not stand. You see? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he was trying to explain to them that the problem is that you guys does not understand the things of the spirit. He said, as the wind bloweth, and you can feel it, but you don't know where it's coming from or where it's going. He said, so is a man that is born of the spirit. Now, people think because Davido is making secular music, that it doesn't have the Spirit of God. You're lying. That's what we don't understand. We have these categories where we place people in a box.
Yeah.
And that's what has kept us in bondage in Africa. It's the boxes.
Thank you for bringing this. In fact, that's why, thank God for Topo Spaces. May God continue to bless Topo Spaces, bless Brian for initiating.
And bless you and bless Frank.
I was just reading today, and I saw a big bishop. He has invited Davido to come and perform in his church.
Okay.
And it's not all these new modern churches, so it's these all Orthodox churches. So I've been a little bit, confused, until, you've shedded more light on this. That is good. That is good to know.
I will be honest with you. I'm trying to keep this chat as light as possible.
They don't see put it in the box. Just let it go.
As simple as possible. Because
yeah.
Let me tell you something. You see, anyone that is able to move people, you need to respect that person, because what is beating the drum for them is bigger than them.
Mashallah. Yeah, I see.
Any artist, any producer, because we are all spirits. We are all spirits. We are a bowl of energy. Like I am now. I am not normal. If you think I'm normal, you are deceiving yourself. When you hear my voice, no matter how many thousands of miles away that you are able to connect to me. It's not the sound that you are connecting to, it's the spirit behind the sound. The scripture tells us that God is omnipresent, which means he's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And I've asked people the question, how is it possible for God to be everywhere? How is it possible for God to be everywhere? The simple answer is God is able to be everywhere because we are everywhere.
Mashallah, yeah, I see.
God is able to be everywhere at every time because we are everywhere. Because the only thing that makes us human is God's spirit, the breath of God. Otherwise, we are not different from any animal, because animals can do everything we can do, except that they don't have the spirit of God. They don't have the breath of God. So God's omnipresent is our presence everywhere. That's why the scripture says that the spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord, searching the inward parts. In other words, the spirit of God is God's tracking device in us. And that's how God is able to track everything that is happening. It's like building a robot that you've got a remote access control to. So the eyes of that robot is a camera, and you can watch whatever the robot can see. Our eyes are the eyes of God. That's how God is able to see everywhere, be everywhere at every time. So any human being that understands that power is able to harness the energy of God. And that energy can move people, it can heal people, it can do all kinds of things. I can tell you now that the music we consider secular music, it has healed people from depression, it has healed people from craziness, it has healed people from all kinds of mood problem, all kinds of sickness.
Yeah.
But they won't come to testify because there's no platform to come and testify. That's why I like, this is the first time I'm going to say this in the public. Please just
the magic.
What I'm about to say.
That's the magic that happens here.
Yes.
Now, what I'm about to say is this. As a pastor, I want to encourage Christians to produce love songs, more love songs. They must not leave it to the people they consider the people of the world to produce love songs.
Yeah.
Because when you want to make out with your wife, you don't play Holy Spirit, thou art welcome in this place. No. You're not going to play that.
Yeah.
What you're going to play is, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to play, she says she's no one designer. That's what you're going to play.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. To vibrate at that frequency. Yeah.
Yes. So imagine if the people that have the Spirit of God can sing love songs from that source. Remember when I'm talking about this realm is the same, it's just the access point is what is different. You know, some of the secular artists access that realm by smoking ganja. You see what I'm saying? Some of them access it by getting high, smoking all kinds of nonsense. You see what I'm
Drinking
saying?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And others access it by drinking a lot, you know. So some of us, we access it by understanding where the door is, you know. Like there's a place you get into the things of the spirit, you know where the door is, you know. When you want to walk through the door, you know exactly where to go. Some people do it through meditation, through fasting, through prayer, through reading the word, and all kinds of ways. But the realm is the same. The difference is the access. That's what I'm trying to say. So I encourage Christian musicians, please, Frank Edward, Sinachi, please produce love songs, not to Jesus Christ, to our wives, to our, you know, girlfriends, our people, the, you know, the people that we love. We want to show affection, because affection is part of human nature. We will not all be in the spirit all the time. Sometimes we are here in the flesh, because flesh is part of the three dimension of human being. We are spirit, we have a soul, we live in a body. Some of the music is made for the body, some music must be made for the soul, other music must be made for the spirit. The Christians, you can't choose the spirit only. You are imbalanced.
Yeah.
And imbalance is a sin in the eyes of God. The scripture says in Ecclesiastes, it says a wise man, an upright man, avoids all extremes.
Wow.
Mashallah, you see
Brian,
my gray hair, Isaac.
The pastor.
Yeah.
I guess when we will bring that Babalawo from Benin.
Yeah, that would be nice, so they can chat. Yes, right.
Yes, we have a Babalawo that we've hosted on this show, who came and he was trying to tell us about, I mean, traditional African worship, that you're talking about the ancient days and what we do now, and how it even connects to Christianity and all of that. So Brian was even saying we should have him come back one of these days. So maybe we'll have you two as a panelist, so we talk about all these issues. Brian, I know you want to say something, but let me just say this before you take
please
it
go
from
on.
there.
No, please go on.
Let's, as an Igbo man now, let's talk about the business side of music.
Okay.
Right. I know Igbo Kwenu, I know said that one go switch you well.
That is such a stereotype that is lame, actually.
All right.
Mashallah. Go ahead. Yeah.
It's actually a lame stereotype, because everyone...
So I just wanted to say, tell us about, you know, the business part of gospel music as a gospel singer. What are how can our artists make money? A gospel artist make money? Is there even money in gospel artists? Because I've not seen you guys going platinum, multi-platinum, you know, buying private jets, living the life of Jay-Z and PDD. You know, this guy, Kurt Franklin, that short guy, I don't think he has a private jet. So tell us, what is the situation in the gospel industry? Is there a bad day there? Because me, I'm thinking about singing music now, so I will know which one to do. Yes, now.
Okay. So, where do I start? So, okay, I want to start from the stereotype first.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So,
yes, I'm listening.
So, you know, people always say that Igbo people like money too much. The truth is that everybody like money. The difference between Igbo people and others is that we are not ashamed to go for what we like. We are not apologetic about it. Igbo people, they don't stop until they get what they are looking for. They will give whatever it takes to get to where they need to get to. We don't know how to stop. I think we lost our stop button somewhere.
The brakes is missing.
The brakes. We don't know where that is. So we just keep going. And what happens is that people that cannot compete with that level of intensity, they look for a way to douse it by giving it a name that makes it sound like it's a bad thing when it's not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because when God created us, he says, go and dominate.
Yeah.
Go and dominate.
Mashallah.
Which means anywhere you go, you must make your mark. It doesn't matter if you're Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Efik, Ibibio, it doesn't matter. You must dominate. Domination is not dominating another human being. Dominating is dominating the space, the industry, the business, the art, any sector you find yourself, dominate it. You don't dominate by bullying people. You dominate with your intellect, with your creativity, with your intensity, with your never say die attitude, never say no attitude. Like you say no, we say try again. You understand?
Yeah.
So now bringing it into the art of music, the gospel music, there is a lot of money in it. What happened is that the gospel guys, like the older people, the older generation, they made it so boring and put it in a box. And anything that is in a box must be put to the corner. Anything that is in a box must be put in a corner. That is what was happening to gospel music. That's why what will liberate the gospel music for it to become the mainstream music again, because there was a time it was the mainstream in Nigeria. There was a time if you're not doing gospel, like, you know, because Nigerian generally we're religious people, you know, but after some time, the box starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and now it has to be put into a corner. That even some radio stations in Nigeria don't want to play gospel music because it's no more seen as mainstream.
It's not cool.
All right. So now what we need to do, gospel artists. Now, I said before, and I'm saying it again, I have the right to be wrong. So this is my opinion. Because this is where I see the next wave. This is where I see the next 20, 50 years. This is what I see. Gospel artists must make secular songs, even though they are gospel artists. The same way secular artists put gospel tracks in their songs. How come the secular guys have got more freedom to do what they feel more than the gospel guys? Something is wrong. There is an indoctrination that is caging people, and we need to break that stuff.
I think my mind is coming up with an answer to that.
I'm going somewhere.
Okay, all right, then go.
He's still going. He has not reached the
Oh yeah, go. Let me follow you.
Please go on. Yeah.
The gospel artist must make love songs. I'm not talking about sex songs. I'm not talking about naughty, useless, No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about even the sounds that worldly people even censor. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about sound that is made for the soul. Sound that is made for moments, love moments, beautiful moments, weddings, Not everything is, Holy Ghost come down. No. There's a time for Holy Ghost come down because there's time for everything.
Yeah.
There are times we need to live as people that are living here on earth. And there are times we need to connect with our higher source. There must be balance. All right. So the same way, the second, look at Flavor. He does his shower music, and then the next track is I'm a product of grace.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Do you imagine the level of freedom you need to attain in your mind to be able to switch between those frequencies?
Yeah, but I think that Flavor has that freedom because he has not defined himself as a gospel.
He's not a gospel artist.
Gospel.
He's not a gospel artist at all.
He's not a gospel artist. So you see, he can move. He's secular, he can move. But if you define yourself today as a gospel artist, if you talk about Ashawo in your song, it's a problem now. You have to remain within the confines of the gospel, right? You can't celebrate Ashawo things. You can't celebrate the worldly things. You can't celebrate strippers in your video. You can't celebrate the ice chains and all of that. As a gospel artist, you preach Jesus Christ. You preach love within Jesus Christ, within what the gospel defines it to be. Isn't that so?
So I think the internet is stuck.
Wow.
Let's hold on and see. So while waiting for Frank, this song that he just dropped on the Sith. So I think we can play it while waiting.
All right, cool.
I can share my screen too.
Yeah. Let's see the video. So Brian, we were talking about the continuity in African music, right?
Yeah. You see, like this one, it's just fluid. It's like water. Whereas others, you have to like break ever so frequently. So to those watching, this is Frank that we're talking with. This is his song, released, premiered on February 6th, I think 4 days ago. So feel free to tap from the stream of this song while it's still fresh. Maybe you're taking a stroll on a Saturday. Yes, Frank? We're just playing your song. If you look at the video, you'd see we were sharing. So I was saying that this song is like you have walked on a Saturday, gone to the farm, it's very hot, and you have come to a spring that is still cold and fresh, and you can drink from it, and you remember all the work you have done, but you can absorb the beauty that you just experienced going to the farm and the whole investment and everything. That's how I feel when I listen to this song. It's like a cool spring, like drinking from a cool spring.
Yeah, for me, I mean, listening to it, even though you don't hear the words, you understand the spirituality in it. You understand, like there is a yearning about something more bigger, something spiritual, something more godly. Yeah, that is what that is how I connect to the song. Yeah, it flows just like water too. Nice song. I like the colors, the blend of the colors.
Mashallah.
The truth is that music is in Africa. Start and end here.
Yes.
Sometimes when I think of music and things that are beautiful, I always imagine that the first person that discovered it, how did he feel? Or she, how did she feel? How did she even tell the others that, look, this song, like this thing, maybe it was not called a song. How did they really... Anyway, with music may be easy. You just play it and then they grow mad with enjoyment. That, certain things, it could be like a dish, or like the person that first smoked weed. How did he tell the others that, man, this thing...
See the trips, yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll continue our conversation.
So Frank,
Yes, sir.
Before the witches and wizards, your village people struck your internet. I was saying, I mean, I just wanted to understand, because it's a lot of confusion here, especially in Nigeria, right? And maybe in Africa, Flavor is able to, talk about Ashawo strippers in his videos and all of that, and still come back and talk about the grace of God, because he has not defined himself as a gospel singer. So a layman like me, when you say you're a gospel singer, you are all about spreading the gospel of the Lord. So gospel, so
that is you see, that is indoctrination, and that is what I'm against.
Okay,
it's
good.
Pure indoctrination. There is no scripture to back that. You know, there is not like this is why church people are poor.
Okay.
And this gets me going. This gets me going when I talk about it.
Good.
How come we preach freedom, but we are not free? And the ones that we say are not free are the ones that are free. Don't you think something is wrong with that? We need to reevaluate what.
Are you saying that the people of God that go to church that preach, they are not free?
We are not free. We are more in bondage than the people of the world. That's what I'm trying to say.
You have to explain that too. Because I am free.
Okay, you see, you believe you are free, all right? But when your pastor enters your music, your car, you wouldn't play Flavor in your car because your pastor is in the car.
I will play Whitney Houston. I play Whitney Houston. I play Tupac.
Look,
when your pastor is in your car.
And my pastor will be doing like this. Small time will say, but Isaac, you know that this music, you are not supposed to. My pastor, shout out to Reverend, shout out to Pastor O.C. Max. I mean, we've had this experience with you. You will do like this. Then you tell me, but Isaac, you are not supposed to be playing this kind of music.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. Jesus said to them, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and unto God that which is God's. When we look into the deep meaning of what he was trying to communicate, he was trying to make us understand that that everything belongs to where they belong. That's why he can finish preaching the gospel and go and dine in the house of a thief. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why he's able to pay his taxes, even though he doesn't like the government in power.
Excellent. Yeah.
The problem we have in Christianity is the indoctrination. The people that design the doctrines, they have ulterior motive to enslave so many of us.
Sorry to interject. I was going to ask you that how can you study theology and then still maybe think about call yourself like a Christian? But I'm gonna ask you later. you see what I mean? Yes, I was gonna ask him that because he spoke about indoctrination and people putting themselves in boxes.
Is our biggest problem.
Yeah, so I was thinking if you study theology, you see how big God is. There's no doctrine that can capture him. So I was gonna ask that how will you study theology and still be a Christian? You see, but anyway, I asked it. Maybe I'll ask later.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's
At
get
the end
to
of
that.
the day, let's just come back to the business of music.
Yes, because that's where I'm going.
Who wants to learn about how to make money from their music?
Yeah, right.
That's where I'm going. So there are 3 things I want to talk about with regards to making money through music as a gospel artist. I want to start with the first one, which is the one that people talk less about, or actually there's no conversation about it. And I'm hoping that conversation can start now. I want to listen to a love song from Frank Edward because I feel like he's got a pure spirit. I feel like his music will be inspired by the spirit, not by ganja or by cocaine. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I want to listen to him, but I don't have it. I don't have love song from Frank Edward. I don't have love song from Sinach. I don't have love song from Ada. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is a market that is yearning. And when a market is crying for something, it means there is money waiting to be made. And I'm talking about this because it's the part that nobody talks about. I'm still going to talk about publishing and exploitation of music, branding, and the rest of them. But those are I consider them public domain. I want to talk about the stuff that nobody wants to talk about when it comes to gospel music. We have to make gospel music to be mainstream, because if Zenith Bank, for example, wants to make an ad, they're not going to make an ad that says Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Come and bank with Zenith Bank. No, they're not going to do that. they're going to need a song that is written something like Zenith Bank is the best. Choose Zenith Bank today so that your money can be secure. That is not gospel. But the person that sings that or delivers that lyrics gets paid a lot of money. And Christians are not going to do it because it's not a church song. They're not singing to Christ. And that is where the poverty is coming from. Zenith Bank will want to endorse. I don't even know why I'm calling Zenith
Bank. Did they pay you?
I don't know. You know, the question is, how many gospel artists have been endorsed? Because that's also where money is an endorsement. You know, so you cannot be endorsed for the things of the earth when you're only singing about things of the heaven. You understand? And right. we have been told to, you know, even though we are of the world, we are not of the world. And people misunderstand that scripture. As long as we are here in this earth, we are supposed to dominate it. When I say dominate, I mean like dominate every nooks and cranny of it. We're not supposed to live in the toilet and then let other people live in the lounge and in the parlor, in the other rooms. And we go to church and we brag that we rule the world. We don't rule nothing. We don't rule the banking sector. We don't rule the educational sector. All those people most of them are not believers, you see. And the reason is because of the indoctrination that has put us in a box where we cannot express creatively. I wrote in my book that if Mark Zuckerberg has come up with the idea of Facebook, in the church, they will tell him to shut up, that is a small boy that has been possessed by the spirit of vanity, that he must come for deliverance. But right now, all churches are on Facebook.
Yeah, isn't it? The same with Galileo. Sorry to interject. Even sciences, if you look at history, right? Like Isaac Newton, whose laws are helping us today in making cars and even the devices that we use here. He used to hide some of his writings that he was thinking about God because he understood that the church may have buried him. Look at Galileo. Galileo was a prisoner when he tried to reshape the world using physics, and he even told people that the Bible tells us about maybe what things are and what God is, but science tells you how. It explains. So you see the same thing. So you see the same thing. The Bible will not tell you how to like fix a car. You see what I mean? So yeah. Sorry, go on. I just wanted to add that in there.
That's what I believe the church needs to now focus on. Otherwise, the church will become obsolete. Otherwise, all the nice guys will leave the church. Otherwise, all the talented guys, all the creatives, all the hackers will leave church. All the scientists, all the geniuses in Africa, all the brilliant minds we have in Africa, they will leave churches because the church is so. A lot of pastors should be fired because, like, they're so myopic. Like they're so myopic in their mind. Like, how can you empower a tech generation with your primitive mind? You can't. You know. And that's the problem we have today. I get crazy when I talk about this. And Africa is backwards because of that. Because we go to churches where we get our first knowledge, first teachings, you know, and then you go there and they do everything possible to cage you. They cage you. Look at Beyonce. She came from church.
Yeah.
You understand? The church will try to make Beyonce not to do Beyonce.
Yeah.
But Beyonce leaves the church to do Beyonce. And when Beyonce has done Beyonce and she's a mega star, when she sings one gospel song, everybody is like, yeah, Beyonce has repented. Nonsense. You see, this is hypocritical. It doesn't make any sense. That's why we need to, our generation, we need to re-engineer this stuff. If the next 50 years will favor the church, we must re-engineer these teachings. Some teachings must be thrown into the toilet. You understand? And then we need to teach our kids and our generation that is coming so that they're able to harness the power of the scriptures. You know, Jesus did not come to cage people. He came to set people free, to live their fullness. You know, so we need to rule the fashion industry. We need to rule the television industry. We need to rule the whole broadcast industry. We need to rule the money industry. Right now, a lot of Christians don't want to trade in crypto because they believe it's the mark of the beast. Like, can you imagine that nonsense?
That's funny.
Like,
Can I say something about those? That reminded me. You see, like Islam, that it's typical for a Muslim to memorize the Quran, right? Like that's why when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was alive, when people were asking for the Quran, he would show a member that is sitting beside him, a human being, that this is the Quran. You see, so because he has the whole Quran inside him and he's trying to live it and he can recite all of it. But the important thing is that since most people have that memorized, if you start trying to wipe out Islam, you just need one person to survive and he can reproduce it. So that's why those books can outlast centuries. So with Bitcoin, each computer has a copy of everything. Just how each person will know of the whole Quran. So it's not like one company has all the records that if they go out of business, you are lost because they've gone with your data. So now when people understand that that's what this crypto does, you can keep a record of your own things, then you see that Christian or not, it's a tool that you can use to live your life, and its security and everything is in the power that it gives you that control to do your own stuff, check it yourself, as opposed to a company.
You know, I know this is not a preaching session or whatever, but I just have to share.
You can preach. No problem. We do everything.
I want to share. I just want to tell people. I want to tell Christians that, guys, live your life as if rapture is going to happen right soon. But make your plans as if we're going to be here for another 100 years. I say this because the world is not ending anytime soon. I'm sorry to tell some people that think that the world is ending. No, it's not. The cars are not flying yet, guys. The cars are still going to fly. We as humans are going to still become cyborgs. Like, we're still going to levitate. We're still going to teleport. So if you think that this is it, we're only getting started. So we need to empower Christians to be in the corridors of decision making. Otherwise, other people are going to tell us how to live. They're going to tell us what we can't do and what we can do. If we want power, we must understand the dispensation we're in. We must understand what is going on right now. We are in the dispensation of tech. You guys are thousands of miles away from me, and I feel like you're right here.
Yeah.
Very soon, this thing we are doing on the phone will be a complete hologram projection. Very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon, it will be augmented reality. It will be so real that I can feel your pulse. Very soon, it will be surrogates. Very soon, we can all be in our house and be anywhere else we want to be. Very soon, we're going to be omnipresent. So we're only getting started. So I'm trying to tell people that, especially Christians, we need to start opening our minds. We need to start opening our minds and stop being in the box of Jesus is coming now. So let's just sit around and wait. No. Otherwise, we're going to be miserable in the next few years, because all the policies will be anti-Christian. All the laws will be anti-Christian, anti-worship of God, whether you are Muslim or because if you're not at the gates, you are not part of the decision. That's what I want to tell Christians. We need to start getting involved. We need to get into power, into politics, into tech. If you sing unto Jesus Christ, sing unto human being. Human being is also part of life.
Excellent.
That's my advice.
I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense, right? If we are the sons of God, I mean, if we are the light of the world, we should allow our light to shine wherever we are. We should dominate. How can you spread the gospel of God if you do not follow, you know, the new emerging, the civilizations that are coming up, you know, in tech and all of that, you know, understood. That's understood very, very, very well. I like at this junction, you know, since we're talking about business and we're talking about tech, I like to show Topo Spaces. We have some T-shirts, you know, some Topo Spaces branded T-shirts, you know, who we have just made. It was made for us by one of somebody who has been a guest on this show, Frank. Might interest you to know. Zacha.
Wow.
He makes clothing, you know, in Kaduna. So he made these T-shirts for us, Topo Spaces.
It is
we
beautiful.
have
congrats, Isaac. Yeah. Isaac, you and to your team. Congratulations.
Thank you. God bless you. Yeah, so you see Topo Spaces. So for some of us that are in Kaduna, that are in Abuja, we have just some few here. You know, Topo Spaces is just young. You know, so we would give it out to some of the few people around Abuja here. I'm sure Dr. Frank here will be happy with me that I'm even also an Igbo man. Igbo Kwenu.
I think I've heard that.
Wow, that is amazing.
That's how they do like that.
All right, good man. So Frank, this book, you have a book, right? Because when you make this argument about this book, a lot of people will want to read this book.
Yeah, please tell us about it. Where's the book?
Online, so we look at it.
Is there a link?
Is there a link?
Yes, it's on Amazon. It's it's actually everywhere.
Okay.
It's on Amazon. It's on.
What's the title?
Novels. It's on audio. If you want to listen, Audible is on Audible.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually everywhere in the world. It's called No One Is Coming for You.
Okay.
It's probably reversed.
Yeah. Wow, I see it. I'm gonna share my screen.
I like the shock about the title. You know, yes. No one is coming for you.
Let me share my screen.
For you.
Yeah, let me share my screen actually.
All right. So if you go on Google actually and just type Frank Ogino, yes, there you go. It's on Amazon. If you want to listen to it on Audible, it's there. You know, it's on ebook as well. So whatever version that you want is there. It's a powerful book.
I think I should read the description.
No, you're gonna love it.
Yeah. So for the title, those who look at it, no one is coming for you. The truth that will force you to wake up and prosper. And for synopsis, they say no one is coming for you is written by a disruptive thinker, and as such is straight hard talk. I think we should end it. You can go and discover yourself and try to tap from it. And I like the cover. Look at the gold, the whole gold thing. Yeah. Is there a reason for that, if I may ask?
Yes. That picture is actually a jet engine.
Mashallah.
Yeah, it's a jet engine. So subliminally, I'm just trying to tell you that no one is coming.
Wow.
And the gold is the fact that my message is geared to empowering people to prosper financially and otherwise.
Wow. And even for an engine, you know, gold is really stable. And it's really stable.
Yes.
So even if it hits up and it performs, its stability is still gonna survive after that performance. It's like jogging every morning, but after 150 years, you're still fresh.
Yes. So if you look at the chapters, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about the chapters, the chapter headings. So I've got chapter 1 that says innocent yet hated. So I was trying to present a different view of the story of Esau and Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
And this view is the view that no one talks about. everybody wants to be from the lineage of Jacob and Israel, the changed version.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be, from the lineage of Abraham, loved and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody wants to be Esau, because God said that he hated Esau. And then I asked God in my conversation with God, why did you hate Esau? What did he do? How can the God of love hate someone who did nothing?
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a someone yet. It was just a fetus in the womb.
Yep.
And you hated him. And in the doctrines, in the theology, they said God hated him because of his evil that he will perform. So God can see the future. So God was hating him based on the future. But also, Jacob did a lot of evil also. So why didn't God also hate him?
Yeah.
For evil he will commit in the future. So I went to ask God, which is where the whole book came from. I asked God, why did you hate someone that did nothing and then love someone who is a thief, somebody who is a supplanter, somebody who is a 419er? Like, how are you doing this? Why? And God was explaining to me that the whole thing about Esau is part of his creational process. And he said that when you make something that is supposed to be robust, that thing must also be tested.
Yeah.
Rigorously.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can ascertain if it can perform at the level it was made. And God said to me that Esau was not blessed because of the blessing of his father, because there was no blessing left. Jacob stole it, right?
Yeah.
But Esau was blessed because God has put in every man the seed of greatness. But this seed of greatness is only activated when you become restless. That's why his father said to him, I've given everything to your brother, but when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke off your neck and you shall become anything you want to become. And that's why the lineage of Esau is the most prosperous lineage in the world till today, because Esau is from the Arab nation. The Arab nation is from Esau.
Mm.
But it was not from the blessing of his father. It was because there is the seed of greatness in every man. And that's what I was trying to tell Christians, that, until you break out of the mold of box, like there is this box that we all live in. I don't know, maybe because I'm a church boy, I was in this box for a long time, until God started to open my eyes to see that beyond the box is the world to dominate. Beyond the box is industries to take over. Beyond the box is companies to build, businesses to build, people to reach with everything I've given you. So I tackled a lot of sensitive issues here in the book. So anybody that wants to read it must know, they must keep an open mind, because it's not a normal book. It's not another, I want to write a book and then you just put stuff together. It's actually, there's a thought that went into it, and it will get you thinking. And that's what I want to achieve.
Mashallah. Thanks a lot. I'm actually, it means if you do us the honors, we could come have another time. I would love to read the book so we can really talk about it again. But I'm already feeling the frequencies that I'll be vibrating to. And, you were explaining something that I had read, that Solomon has summarized, that gold is tested in hot fire. When you said when God makes something good, like Jacob, you
It
have to
also needs to
test
be
it.
tested.
Yes, even when we build software, man, the way we test it, I used to spit it. Although, like, we can just use math and like scale something to use 1 million megabytes of data and see how it performs
Wow.
mathematically. But that's just to see how far I can stretch that
It can
thing
push
without it
yes.
breaking.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really amazing.
Wow.
So now, since we're in the line of trying to understand from Isaac's wonderful question, how to make money in music, I see I've already painted all of it, but in the best ways that is classic, so that you have to think. It's not like they chew the food and give you. Oh, he has already said it over and over in many ways. We just have to tap into it and pull it out. But from my understanding, you mentioned that as an artist about dominating via your art, via your creativity. It reminds me of a case where you have a bulb and I want the shadow to go far away. It's still like the sun. A shadow can go, yeah. So now, as gospel artists, they have to stretch their light towards other domains, and it's like a science conquering, creating, breaking bounds. So look at Duduke by Simi, right? It like empowers women now to think of pregnancy in another way. So
You see.
yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to drop that why you continue. So please go on with what you're saying.
So
Frank, before you go, please, I need to go and buy fuel for my gen. So you guys continue at this. There's still no light, So I'll catch up, with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah. All right, Pastor, please go on. Oh, Doctor, you see, you got into your pastor hat, and I picked it up.
Yeah.
Go on, Doctor.
Yeah. So the music thing I've spoken about. I wanted to talk about 3 things about making money. All right. So the first one that I mentioned was opening up the market for what you're selling. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sing for everyone. Don't sing for people only in the church. Sing for everyone. Sing unto God. Sing unto the people. All right.
Yeah.
Because you need both dimensions for 100% domination. Because the worldly, the secular guys are already doing it anyway. So we know it works. All right. The second thing, obviously, is where we now get into the boxes to check in the business. Put quality into the product. Like, put everything you are into every product. Don't take chances. Don't go to a substandard studio, make substandard sound, and hope that the Spirit of God will make a substandard sound to be standard. No. See, that is the problem. You need to prioritize quality. The work must be quality. When I listen to the sound, it must be beautiful to the ear. It must sound amazing to the ears. That is it. Why you are making it in a quality studio, make it with the mystical aspect of you. What drives people is not what whatever you are talking with your mouth. It's the spirit behind it.
Yeah.
Go prepared. I record a lot of artists, gospel, secular, and everybody. The secular guys, most of the time, are more prepared for their project than the gospel guys. I'm sorry to say that.
Is it
but
true?
it's the truth.
Yeah, please tell us.
It's what I've experienced. You understand?
Yeah.
When they come into the studio, they know they need their ganja, they need their cocaine, they need their alcohol, they need their women, they need whatever that gets them there.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They come prepared. They build themselves up to that moment where they deliver. The secret to music is what people feel in the record is the spirit behind the moment when you dropped the sound into the mic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people feel. You can fast and pray for 40 days before you're recording. If you're not able to connect to the frequencies in the moment when you actually sing it or produce it, that energy will not be transferred into the record, into the sound. It won't be transferred. And that's what people feel.
Yeah,
That's why you listen to some secular artists and you feel the Spirit of God. But you're listening to a secular music, but you feel the Spirit of God.
Yeah, I see.
I can spend the whole day analyzing that. You see that frequency transfer.
I get it. You know, it's like when people, have you been arguing with someone and then you remember your most powerful point when you're home, and then you want to go back, and then you want to go back and say, and that was the point. So he's making sure that point, you make that point at the right time, so that you don't go and then later I'm like, oh, that's my strongest point. You cannot call the person and make the point again.
I also want to tell you something about that now. Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, now I will be making comparison with some of the secular guys and some of the gospel guys, and not all of them. It's just it's some. All right.
Mm-hmm.
When secular artists make record, they have more budget for that record.
Yeah.
So they can afford multiple sessions for the same songs. Multiple sessions for corrections. So they go home and they remember, oh, I wanted to add that, but I didn't put it there. They will call you. They will pay. Excuse me. They will pay. They will come and add that. And they're going to keep going until they feel like it has reached the point.
Yeah, I see.
When it's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Gospel artists, they leave everything to the Holy Spirit, which is laziness. It's laziness. Actually, we abuse the Holy Spirit too much. We abuse the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
There is the work we are supposed to do, and there is the work that God is supposed to do. So when you make the record still on the product, when you make the record, you must make sure that it carries the energy. It must have the energy because that's what people are going to feel.
Yeah.
If you're not able to transfer the energy into the record in this session, book another session. Before you come to record, find your alignment. That's what I call alignment. Find alignment, find the center of you, which is where God is. Find the center. Be in the zone. Don't just come and sing. There are a lot of songs out there. But it's only a few that is spirit-filled that will move people.
Yeah.
And it requires preparation. It requires knowledge, knowing that this is what actually happens. That's why I hope some artists will listen to this part of this interview or this conversation.
Yeah.
You need to know first that there is this thing called energy transfer into the record. When you hear it, you don't need to know what the person is saying. Not to know what they are saying. It's the spirit behind it. There's a guy in the East now. He's called Prophet Odumeje. Right? He's got his music. He's trending online.
East of Nigeria, or where is that?
Yeah, East of Nigeria. Yes.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
So he does his things, but he sings, right?
Yeah.
And he's got music that you can't really hear what he's saying. I'm Igbo person, but I can't hear what he's saying because he's not speaking Igbo.
Yeah.
He's not speaking any language, actually. It just sounds.
Yeah.
But that music can get you spellbound. The reason is the spirit behind the thing, is the energy behind it. And that's what a lot of gospel music don't have. It doesn't have the energy. It just words of the scripture that is quoted and sung with no substance. So the product must have the energy. The music must have the energy because that's what is going to infect and affect people.
Mashallah. Yeah, thanks for dropping that. I mean, in many fields, and also talking about preparation, I want to shift this back to like science so that I can channel that energy too. So the way we test things in science is by using proofs, right? When something is a law means it's very objective. It works in all cases. Like the
Yes. The
commutative
same
law in
way every time.
arithmetic. Yeah, the commutative law in arithmetic that A plus B equals B plus C is the reason why 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2. And if you use that for all numbers, you have to make sure it's true for all numbers, but there's an infinite number of numbers. So how do you make sure that it's true for all numbers? You have to test all of it. We know infinity has no size.
All of them. Yes.
Yeah, but infinity says that there's no limit. So how can I test all? So how would the mathematician make sure that 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2, and that happens for 5 plus 6 plus all the infinite numbers? So he will need to be able to make a tool that can spin through infinity. But for you to do that, you need also the energy to sustain that calculation.
Sustain it.
And you can use simple things that in secondary school prove by induction. But you have to come prepared with all those tools. So I just wanted to take that energy, like you said, coming to the studio, it's not only about delivering that energy, but it's being able to hold it, even if it's as powerful as infinity. It's being able to go to that place to really capture it and then bring it. You see what I mean? Yeah.
And I like the way you mathematically present this, because I love it. Like it's exactly how it is. Any successful record must be able to find the energy from somewhere, from the other world, right?
Yeah.
Bring it into this world, translate it into something that is understandable to the ordinary human, deliver it with the same energy, and then carry the same energy through every other thing that happens with that product.
Mashallah.
From the sound, from the beat, to the voice, to the vocalization, to the mix, to the mastering. Now you have the product. Now to the marketing, the branding, the photos, the colors, the fonts. And then we now get into the putting it out there, the platforms, the advertising, the money, the publishing, the management, the A&R, everything. It must carry through. So it must find the source, capture it, hold it, harness it, maintain it, and repeat it over and over every
Mashallah.
time.
Yeah, I see. Mashallah, I see. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
For me, that is what I call excellence. It's performing at the optimum level every time, not once a week, not twice a week, not, sometimes when you feel good. No. So, but the root is knowledge, because if you don't know what makes things work, you can get it right by mistake. But it doesn't mean you can do it again.
And you can reproduce it, and you start suffering your whole life trying to capture that thing, and then you become a one-hit wonder or whatever they call it nowadays. Yeah, I see.
Because you did not know what made it work the first time. That's why we need to spend time to educate gospel artists, because we rely too much on, the Holy Spirit will do the job. The Spirit of God is only there to amplify what you are ready to trigger. It's ready to amplify what you can trigger. If you cannot find the spark, if you can't trigger it, and the trigger only happens in the place of alignment, when your spirit, soul, and body is in sync with your higher self, that's when you're able to trigger a very powerful energy that can pull things, that can pull people, that can pull sponsorships, that can pull investments, endorsements. It's an energy. If you can't pull it, you're just going to be there making noise. And you're going to think the devil is after you. The devil is not after you.
Yeah.
The problem is that you don't have enough gravitational force to pull, gravitational energy to pull things to you as an artist. But the first step is to know that you can do that. You can pull it. The gift is there. The gift needs to be harnessed so that it becomes an energy magnet that is going to pull other energies to you in your music, in your sound, in your merchandise, in whatever that you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, put a lot of work into the product. When the product is ready, then we can now go into the third stuff, the third part of what I'm talking about, which is exploiting the product. You know, so, and I go back again to talk about Christians. We make gospel music and we take it to a pastor to lay hands on it, and we hope that after the pastor lays hands on it, the music will just go platinum.
Yeah, it's go viral.
Oh God.
Virality, it needs more power.
Guys, no. You're gonna need more than that. You're gonna need more than laying of hands. You're gonna need more than fasting and prayer. And these are all good. Fasting is good. Laying of hands, you know, sowing seeds for the project is good. Don't get me wrong. Those, they've got their place. But it's only a place. There are other places, you know. You must build relationships. You must have leverage. You know, if you don't have leverage, you are a beggar. If you don't have leverage, you are a beggar. And a beggar has no choice. You can't choose. A beggar takes whatever is given. And nobody has ever changed the world by taking what they are given. You want to change the world, you must decide what you want and go get it. That's how it works. So you need leverage in order not to be a beggar. Your leverage can be your relationships. It can be an extraordinary skill that you are able to exchange. It can be contacts. It can be years of experience in one field that you can trade for another for something else that you need. You know, you need skill. Yes, I know you are a singer, but you need to develop other skills. You know, you need leverage. You know, because the more leverage you have as an artist, the better deals you can get, either from a record company or from individual sponsors or wherever. The more leverage you have, you know, grow your following. Take your time, grow your following. You know, give people time, respect people, like actually give people attention, because you are trading. Your currency is people. As an artist, your currency is people. You know, if you don't have people, you don't have nothing. You know. And when people start polarizing towards you, don't start becoming too important for anyone. Like, you know, don't start being too Holy Spirit filled that you can't talk to people. Grow the following, grow your leverage, expand your leverage. You know, have things to trade with. Like God said to Moses, what is in your hands? He said, I've got this. He says, throw it down, use it. You know, you need to have something. You know, you need to have something. Otherwise, you're going to struggle a lot. You know, there are a lot of people that I work with. You know, some of them work with me based on the leverage they know that I have on something else they need.
I see. So it's some sort of an exchange.
Yes, it's an exchange. It's more powerful to do exchange rather than hoping for people to do everything for you. You know, a lot of gospel artists, a lot of musicians, especially Christians, they always waiting for someone to come and do things for them. You want to wait for a publishing company to come and ask you. You want a record label to come and sign you. You want somebody to come and endorse you. There's always we're always waiting for that external something. No. You must be the trigger. Anything you want, you must be able to trigger it. If you can't trigger it, you're not qualified for it. You know, we are we are now in the world of social media. The world is actually a village now. You can talk to anybody anytime. You can reach millions of people. Why aren't you reaching millions of people? Actually, in this day and age, you don't even need a record label anymore. You can do your things. You know, you can be your own publicist, your own A&R. You can be your own publisher. You can be your own. You can literally do everything at the comfort of your, at the comfort of your home.
Yeah.
A lot of artists, they've been able to make like sell records, doing it from their home, from their house, in their computer. Get knowledge. Get the skill.
I have
learn
some
how to
question.
do things.
Sorry to interject there. So now,
Yes.
since you're mentioning all these powerful points and also painting a picture of the work ethic that an artist or someone today needs to excel, it comes to this point where you always face when you're developing a society. Like you have a shoe mender, a farmer, and someone who builds houses. And you see that if the farmer builds his house, goes to the farm, creates his own clothes, he will not be able to produce quality. So he can focus on farming, and then the doctor can focus on medicine alone, and then the house builder can focus on house building. Since the three of them, they'll each spend 1/4. Instead of spending 1/4 on each thing, they can focus and then consume their 1/3. Sorry, three of them, the 1/3, and give the 3/4 to everybody else. So I'm talking about collaboration here, because that's the way that the doctor can really take his time while eating from what the farmer produces and living in a house that the builder has built. He can heal them. So you see, everybody now, we are now just focusing on what we do. You actually mentioned that.
Yes.
But you need an ethic to be able to have that equilibrium. So what are some of those ways that artists coming up can be able to create such communities of collaboration so all of them grow?
The truth is that when you are starting out, you must be a general practitioner first.
Okay. Just like a doctor.
Yes. You have to be a general practitioner. You must be able to know a little bit about most things. That's where dedication comes in. That's where development comes in. You know, you must expose your brain to learn things, to know things, to pick up things. Because the industry will not just open for you. You have to somehow force your way in. And it's through work ethic. It's through not stopping, all right? So, for example, you don't have a sponsor to give you hundreds of thousands to produce your things, right? But you have some money to have data in your phone, isn't it? Now, if you have data in your phone and you're able to build, let's start with Instagram following, for example. You're able to build your Instagram to be thousands. You see, because of that following you have on Instagram, it's already a leverage for you. You see?
Yeah.
You can leverage that for when you come to talk to a sponsor, you telling them, I've got this amount of following, I just need this. And the sponsor does not have this following, but you have them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we can
That's
exchange.
Yes. That's where it starts. It's little things, you know. You don't have a massive studio, but you have a laptop. You can't buy a HD Pro Tools studio, but you've got a laptop and your Fruity Loops. You can create music. You understand?
Yeah.
You create the music, and there are platforms that sell beats. that don't need you to have any sort of qualification. All you need is your beat for you to be accepted. If this beat is sick enough, that's it. You develop yourself. You have YouTube. I call it YouTube University.
Yeah, that's the best place. Anything, like, yeah,
you can learn anything.
Yeah.
The best way, actually, visual and sound. You can learn it, visual and sound. The best way to learn. So, if you develop yourself to a level where your development becomes your leverage, then you have something to trade with. So, and it's not going to be the same for everyone. Some people will have their parents that will sponsor them. Some will have their uncles that will support them. Others will have nobody. My book tells you that nobody is coming for you because some people have uncles that won't help them.
Yeah.
No one is going to come and do it for you. You must do it. And sometimes it takes baby steps, little steps, baby steps. Before you know it, you've racked up enough leverage that when they think of something like that, they think of you. And while that is happening, you're able to do other things. You know, as a producer, I am using my leverage as a producer to build my artist brand.
Yeah.
Because as a producer, I've produced a lot of people. You know, multi-platinum selling artists, great artists, all of them. So, and in the world of a producer, artist is just an artist. You are the producer. Understand?
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to translate that leverage or transfer it as an artist because it's easy for me to get a few artists on my record if I want. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which in turn boosts my profile. It's leverage. And I can talk about leverage for the whole time. Yeah. Because that's what a lot of upcoming artists don't have. And that's one thing they don't know they need. You need leverage.
Yeah, I see.
You see?
Yeah.
You need leverage. A gospel artist, some of the gospel artists that has done well in Nigeria, they had a powerful leverage because of the church they're coming from. For example, Frank Edward, Sinachi, Ada. Look at these people. Their church became a powerful tool for their artistry. And they were able to milk it. And now they are world superstars. So you must understand leverage and make sure you have leverage. Otherwise, you're going to struggle and you're going to blame the world for your problems.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. Before I say something on that, there are some interesting comments here, so I'll just go through them. We have Joshua Aboman. So the latest one, he says he was quoting you that nobody changed the world and begging. So I remember when you dropped that nugget, and then he says the energy behind the sound is king. So you also dropped that. And then Ghislaine Haman says, much wisdom to acquire here. A lot of our young African artists think that when they got a hit song, they become out of people's league, forgetting that the relationships you build along are actually your leverage, as you mentioned it so well. Yeah. And then she says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the step. So we are all learning very much as you're dropping this nugget. So about this leverage, right? So about this leverage, I understand that to have that thing to change, or that gives you a springboard, and also with some of the ethics about developing your talent, using all of those. So you're talking about these core business skills, and because having something to hold, having something that gives you that value that you can exchange is making business moves to. So what are some of those business models that these artists can use as they're coming up to generate some kind of also reserve to give them optionality to pump up their leverage?
there are a lot of stuff that I would. There's so many. There's so much. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Uh. First of all, as an artist, what I did was first understand the technicalities of production,
Okay.
because I know that so many artists don't understand the technicalities of stuff. They just know how to sing, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted more. So what I did was go into the technicalities of production, the mechanics of music. How do you produce a sound? What makes a sound work? You know, what makes a good mix? What makes a good master? What makes a commercial song?
Yeah.
Now, understanding that, I was able to use it to produce other artists, right? Which
Mashallah.
in turn
Yeah.
became my leverage, one of my leverage. All right. Now, on the other side, I also developed my skill in film and television. As a cinematographer, I create content for everyone,
Yeah.
both corporates and individuals. A lot of content.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And because I'm able to do that, it also brings me into the boardrooms for different kinds of conversations. So I can talk to different kinds of people that I need as an artist, but I'm not there as an artist.
Yeah.
I'm there as a content creator,
Yeah.
but I'm building the relationship that is going to help me as an artist.
Yeah. Right.
Now, let's bring it home. There are some artists, their leverage may be service. Service. Service, yeah. Some artists may need to work for, excuse me,
No worries.
specific certain kinds of people.
Yeah.
You know, some artists, they served their pastor so well that their pastor was able to invest in them and they became. Some, their leverage may be the skill they learn. Some of them are now trading in crypto, right?
Yeah. Mashallah.
And the money they are making in crypto, they're able to use it to push their passion, which is music.
Yeah. Yeah. I see.
That
Yeah.
you see,
Uh-huh.
it's not enough to have a good voice anymore. I tell artists this: talent is only 10% of everything. Is the skills you acquire, is the relationships you acquire, is the relationship you build and maintain, is the knowledge you add on top of your wisdom, and the understanding you add on top of your knowledge. Those are the things that makes you the person that people want to work with. And these are also the things that help you sustain your fame when you finally get it.
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And some women, let's just talk about some women artists as well.
Yeah.
Women have got natural attraction. That's why a woman's Instagram page can grow faster than a man's Instagram page. All right?
Yeah.
Use it. Build up the following. Create content that drive the following. When you have the following, you can sell them whatever you like. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
It's so easy now. It's not in those days when you don't have access to the world. You have access to the world with your smartphone. If you are an artist, anything you buy, anything you invest in must be something that is you're investing into your artistry.
Yeah.
You need a proper phone so you can get proper content in order to build a proper following. You understand? You need to have the basics. You can't say you're an artist, you don't ever have data. Like, let's just use that as an example.
Yeah. Right.
You don't have data. If you don't have data, how will you study on the internet? How will you read up things? How will you learn things? You can't. So if you don't have data, get a day job so you can be able to have some money to get data, which you can use to learn things that will help you improve your skill, your talent, so that you're able to have something to trade with
You're right. True.
beyond the natural I can sing
Yeah.
or I can dance.
Mm-hmm.
So um, there are so many ways, so many simple ways, so many things we could do. You know, when I was learning how to play keyboard, I would go and hawk on the street first.
Oh wow.
Yes,
You're
hawk on the
right.
street. I
Uh-huh.
sold everything sellable
Mm-hmm.
in Nigeria. I sold everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I hawked
Mashallah.
everything.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Understand?
Yeah.
You finish that, you still go for piano lessons,
Mm-hmm.
which was being sponsored by the church.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Yeah.
because we are people of service to the church.
Mm-hmm.
See, and then from there, that skill is gotten. From that hawking and all that stuff is how I was able to pay for computer lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So I can learn the basics of DOS, those,
Yeah, right. The command line and stuff like that. Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
you know.
Yeah.
But those are the things that has become what I'm using today.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't handed to me. I had to get it. I had to get this small money from Hawking, and I transfer it to this, and from this, I'm able to transfer it to this. The problem we have is that we want to wait for handouts. That is why a lot of us suffer for longer than supposed. It's a mindset shift that needs to happen.
Mashallah. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. We have been speaking almost for 2 hours, so whenever you want to drop off, please drop off. But I have a question.
Okay.
So from the point of view of having the leverage, you have spoken about the artists, like producing and having a basket of skills that you can apply to increase your optionality. So
Yes.
then there's another
Valid.
side to this. There's another side to this, which is like the investors. Nowadays, like you in South Africa, you want to invest in people, both like now, this is an investment. You're investing energy in us that are listening. So,
Mm.
but there are other ways where you can invest that energy to be some product or service that will give you results, and it may involve working with other people. So, in your
Yes.
experience, how does one really, how does one do it now, and how can one optimize that process of investing back in the art and whatever, since we have a lot of diaspora out there, how can they really also invest, collaborate with artists so that we have some sort of a wheel that produces good music
Mm.
and more value? Because that's another very important aspect that we always just maybe don't think about. If I have some spare $100, how can I, what environment do we need that I can pump that $100 back home to make good music so we can all progress?
So, obviously, so some of the things that I do now is I mix and master for some artists
Mm-hmm.
in Nigeria
Yeah.
and other places.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I consider that as investment into the art. You understand?
Yeah.
Um, um, and then beyond that, I'm having conversations like yesterday with somebody from Kenya. I'm looking for how we can collaborate with some of the guys there so that I can introduce their sound to my people and introduce my sound
Yeah.
to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And by doing that, um, we are recycling the energy, and we are infecting different parts with different energies from different parts.
Yeah.
And as that is happening, I feel like it's creating um, a higher level of understanding in the continent among the creatives that I believe at some point we'll start uh, translating into a very powerful synergy that can create a serious force
Yeah.
that can infect or affect the world.
Yeah. Mashallah.
So
Uh-huh.
we must share knowledge. That is part of investment. We must share knowledge. We must have forums like this where we come and share what we know because nobody knows it all.
Yeah.
We keep learning and we learn from everyone. That's why in the Western world, there are so many communities of everything. You know,
Yeah.
if you use logic, there is community for logic
Yeah.
users.
Meetups everywhere.
There's community for
Yeah.
pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Now
Right.
we need such communities for like in Africa. You know, we need. I'm happy that you are into software design,
Uh-huh.
and you know, we need apps that can do more than just the social part. We need apps that can educate in a way that is so impactful that it produces, you know, great people out of Africa. We need to share knowledge for Africa in Africa by Africans.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So those platforms, I think we need for artists, for software engineers, for coders, for crypto guys. We need to communicate. You know, Africa has been so fragmented. Like, you know, everybody's like doing their thing. We need systems that bring Africa together so that because Africa we have this deep understanding of each other that is not spoken. You know,
Yeah, right.
like you are from the other part of Africa, but I feel like I know you. Like I can, like
Yeah, same here.
there's something.
Yeah.
Yes, there's
Yeah,
that
right.
understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, which means if I'm explaining something, you can understand it deeper than a European will ever
Yeah,
understand it.
yeah, very true. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we need to teach our people through the way our people understand. It's the same thing. It's the same thing we do in our school here in South Africa. We teach film in a way that Black people will understand it. It's for Africans. We teach it the way we understand it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's quite powerful, and that's what I'm hoping that we start investing in.
Okay.
You know, we also invest in technology. We need to build more studios, more films. We actually need film studios in Africa. Film studio, real film studios, Hollywood level film studios, so we can produce content. We are so talented, but the technology is letting us down. Like we don't have equipment.
Yeah.
We
I
don't
see.
have. We've got the mind, we've got the skill, but equipment is not. Is not helping.
Mashallah. Thanks.
So
Thanks.
those are the
Yeah.
things I feel like we need to invest in.
Thanks for that. That is making it now. Since we need to share, then let me share my screen and show you something that I always ask, like technology guys if they know. So I don't know if you've heard of Blender. Have you
Yes.
heard of Blender? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
You mean the blender that our wives use, is used in the kitchen to blend stuff?
no, some software. I will show you.
No,
I will share my screen very
a
soon.
software is for
Yeah.
3D design,
Yeah.
composition, and stuff.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
you can, and it's free. You see, but a lot of
Yes.
people will be home. They may not know it, and maybe they're using some Adobe products, which you need to download like a hack or to unlock
You
things.
see.
So, just a second. Yeah, that's it.
Blender can do all
Yeah.
sort of things, like crazy stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know if we have demos somewhere.
Such
So,
as
like to make a 3D movies, you could also do films, and
Yes.
yeah, let me actually show. There's some movies that they have, And I know that when we Africans, when we understand things, we stretch them. So
Yes.
that's why I'm showing this, because there are kids that will hold this thing and make magic with it. Yeah.
Yes.
So okay, maybe I should just play a short movie that was made in Blender, and then people can understand what it is. So all of these things are made in Blender. So maybe we'll spend like a second to.
Wow. You know, there are, when you play this, something comes to my mind. You know, there are some kids in Kaduna that are make movies, trailers, very interesting movies with their phones.
Oh wow!
They
Yeah, I
shoot
think
the
I
whole
saw that.
movies.
Yeah, article. Yeah.
Yeah, they shoot their whole movies on their phones. You can check them out. The Critics, they're on Instagram. Check out you'll see.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
all of this is made in Blender. Like since
Can you imagine?
yeah, since today people do software, like they talk to the computer produces web pages, and the same, like you can type your resume on essay in Microsoft Word. Software like Blender allows you to describe this character. You see like how she's walking, you can make her shoe, make her hair, make her stick, make the dog, make the field, make the smoke. Then you transition within them, just like the producer will describe music.
Wow.
So Blender allows you to make the branch, the tree, the egg, or you can actually just take some kind of a small fruit and synthesize it into an egg. It's illusion, right? It's magic. You just make the person see what it is that they need to see. So all of this is like Blender, and it's free. These are software that producers today can use, and kids coming up can produce content that they can sell and make money and do more.
You see?
Yeah.
Wow.
So then,
so
so Isaac, this is Blender, and then there is also, in terms of sound, there is Sonic Pi. For those that are interested in sound, yeah, there is Sonic Pi. It's actually some platform too that you play live music. So you code music by describing it, and if you can describe it even at the level of the sound waves, like using sine, cosine, you can always like do stuff. So maybe I should show. So you just write it, and then the synthesizer will play it. So this is an example.
Wow.
So this one.
I mean, when you talk about writing, right, Brian, when you talk about describing to it, you mean like the way you write an essay, you say, I like this character, slap this man at this so time.
Exactly.
A code.
It's
stuff like that.
Yes. So this,
right?
Yes, it's script. So you see like this, you have your live loop bass dude. This will be playing whatever the guy is saying here. So actually, I think I made some Cameroon music. Let me see if I can pull it. So, Doctor, I just wanted to share those.
Wow.
Since you spoke about sharing, and it's really amazing that nowadays all these tools that are out there, what is left is for us to just tap into it and then use it to make the magic that we need to make. So I'll actually just show you live from my computer, so that we'll see how it is. And there are all these powerful software applications today that we all can use. Where is this Sonic Pi? Just a second.
Wow.
Interesting. So, Brian, you're coming up with the...
Yes, I'm putting it. So this is a Sonic Pi. There is I try to make some music that we always play in Cameroon. I hope I have it here.
Wow.
So this is some songs that we used to play in church. So let me play the slow one. I made that one longer. So you see the script. So everything is there. Like here, this one makes it fast or slow. Then this is like playing a note on the piano, like key C. Each one has a number. You do like C major, like do re mi fa sol la ti do. He uses the numbers, and so you can play. Let's say, let me stop some of this. So you see how this one, boom, these all makes like the boom, boom. So you can always say then the other sounds that are playing there, these are them. Like this, me, do, sound me do. There's one that will be playing at the background that is small, but I can stop that again. And then this is like the drum that was also synthesized by just playing how you play on a piano, right? You just describe it, like use this speed and then play this guy. This is the amplification, and then sleep for 0.5 seconds, and play this other one, sleep for this, just like that. You can put all of those together just by describing, you see, and that's what we do. But when the musician is on the drum in church, he's playing it so fast that you don't see those details, those like short steps. So if you can describe that to the computer, then you can create a whole symphony of these things, and then that's what plays all together like this. So Sonic Pi. So in Cameroon, they used to play this in churches, and then there'll be a xylophone that will be playing. So anyway, just to share that, since we're with Doctor today, he has pumped a lot of energies here that we as Africans, we have the sauce in us. We have a lot of things that we can use to like move the world in any direction that we want, and it's us to take. So just to share this, so over to you.
And you know, when I came in, I heard you guys talking about, I had Doctor talking about collaborations across the continent. And I mean, while I left you guys, I was driving, I was also thinking, you know, just to also let Doctor know that we've had some musicians here, some artists here on this platform. And for us, Topo Spaces, we try to share what we have. And since you are so much interested in African music, real deep African music, there are artists, for example, this guy that uses the traditional instrument that makes
Aboli.
This Cameroonian.
Yeah, Aboli.
Aboli. Do you know Aboli?
Wow. No.
Please, Brian, pull out an Aboli video. I like him to see exactly what Aboli does.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Wow.
Just a second.
So, yes.
Actually, Aboli and I went to the same school. So what I synthesized in Sonic Pi, he can play that on the xylophone and all those instruments. So let me see. So Aboli.
Yeah, and to all people, others listening, I'm sure today we have one of our own in South Africa. I mean, Dr. Frank. You can see Dr. Frank is versatile. We all know that music also, South Africa is another music industry, strong hub. I mean, I'm sure that Dr. Frank, if you are looking to do music in South Africa, from Kenya, from Nigeria, from Cameroon, from Sierra Leone, from China, from Uganda, from Mali, Brian, where again we have followers from Germany. I mean, Dr. Frank here, you can get across to him. I mean, he's not just an artist, he's also a businessman. I'm sure you'll be happy to.
For some reason, I can't see this song.
Yeah.
So, but I could send it to you. Yeah, we can continue. For some reason, I can't see it. Yeah. So we had it, but when I get it, I'll send it to him so he can listen.
How much more? How much more time do we have?
I mean, we can round up. We have taken a whole chunk of your day, and there's so much that I don't know how to quantify, even in terms of thanking you. But Isaac, anything to say?
Awesome. This is awesome.
Frank, Mungode so say, but some Kokanajin Hausaba, Mungode, thank you very much. This Hausaba will say, Mungode so say, thank you very much for you've added so much knowledge to this show. When your friend was here, G. Josh, he talked about publishing. I hope
Yes.
that you guys added more perspective or more light on that publishing,
Yes.
and
I didn't wanna go into these things that are like those should be standard practice, you know.
Yeah,
If you are not publishing, you are killing your future. If you don't have a proper publishing deal, you are eating your tomorrow. You know, every artist must have a solid publishing deal because even when you are
oh damn. So the village people from Abia have struck, or this one
yeah, they
from
just
Johannesburg, they've struck,
yeah,
struck
they just
again.
got it. Yeah.
But Dr. Frank is here. We showed his website.
Oh, he's
I
back.
mean,
He's back. He's back,
okay, he's
Isaac.
back.
Yeah.
Okay. So to Frank, quickly wrap, you were talking about publishing.
no. I was saying that publishing is so important and the importance can never be overemphasized. Like if you are not if you don't have a proper publishing setup, it's like you are destroying your future. You are eating your tomorrow. You know, you are bankrupting your next generation because the music we make today is the investment of tomorrow
That's a
through
lot.
publishing. So every artist, and this is something that Nigeria need to push hard to make sure we have a publishing system. Nigeria does not have a proper publishing system. You know, we need to push it because that's the only way artists can leave a legacy that is worth sharing. So we must put a lot of pressure on the government to build a proper publishing system. But if you are an artist, you don't have to rely on Nigeria for your publishing. As long as your music is global, there are publishing companies that can get your royalties from anywhere in the world, anywhere the music is. So the more technically connected we are, the more easier it is for the publishing to work.
If,
You
for
know,
instance, now an artist hearing you in Nigeria wants his work
yes.
publishing, do you know some of these companies that when contact you can help make recommendations and all of that?
So there are a lot of publishing companies, right? The challenge Nigeria has as a country is that the law, the law for publishing is not either is not there or is not
Wow, it's a big
it's
problem.
not enforced. It's a big problem. The radio stations in Nigeria don't pay royalties. The TV stations in Nigeria don't pay royalties. So they are making the artists poor by not paying them for their content. So the good thing is like now because I'm in South Africa, um, I have publishing companies for my work. I have collection societies that also collect royalties. So even some of them here can get a few royalties here and there in
Good.
Nigeria. If it's
Good.
if it's a big project, like if MTN is doing anything in Nigeria, for example, let's say they're doing a commercial, any sound they use there, whether it's a Nigerian sound or not, they will pay for it.
Yeah.
And these companies here will make sure that that artist is paid for that either sync right or performance right and other mechanical rights. So there are some companies here, the Share Publishings, the Sony, the Universal, and other independent publishing companies as well. So, but there are also companies in the world, like there are a lot of other publishing companies online. The big challenge is that they will not collect for you in Nigeria because the country it's not enforcing the publishing rights of the artist. It's a big problem. So this is a serious government issue that we need to push.
Yes.
Make sure that
in fact, this is
radio stations pay royalty.
In fact, it's a good thing that you're talking here, that you've raised this point, Brian. It's for us to see if we can get guest legislators. We had to bring in,
so they talk about it,
like
and
Dr.
we'll see.
Frank and Josh. So
True.
we see how this conversation, can be kickstarted, to get these things, to get these things done. So that is that. Thank you, everybody. Please like our Topo Spaces Facebook page, and also do follow us.
Mashallah. Yeah, so thanks. Those we've dropped the link to this song by Dr. Frank. Is the very beautiful song. I'm just gonna put it on repeat after this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you. Thanks, Doctor. And there's a lot of conversations I would really have. Yeah. So sorry, go on.
I really appreciate you guys. This has been really fun. You guys are so nice to talk to, so fun. It's really it's fresh. I like the perspective. I like the open-mindedness. I like the the different views that we've been able to look at. So it's really refreshing. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I'm hoping that when my album is out, maybe from the 13th, when the album is out, we can have a time when we discuss the tracks.
That would be amazing.
Tracks, that is, have a
absolutely.
Yeah, let's do that. So thanks. Thanks. Look forward to that. Thank you. Thanks everyone for listening. Have a good one. Enjoy this music and heal your souls. Mashallah. See you guys. Yeah.
Ciao.